A successful film is the summation of so many right choices, and while movies are often praised for their writing, direction, and performances, the casting department rarely gets the credit it so clearly deserves. However, with the Academy Awards introducing a Best Casting Oscar next year, hopefully that might start to change. I'm Ellie for What Culture, here with 10 upcoming movies that just made perfect casting choices. Want to stay safe online and save big? Get up to 76% off a 2-year NordVPN plan, plus 4 months free and up to a $50 Amazon gift card. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description and it's all yours. Number 10. Willem Dafoe, A Christmas Carol. It was recently confirmed that the great Robert Eggers will be writing and directing a new adaptation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And in case that's not enticing enough, the lead role of Ebenezer Scrooge is being penned for his regular collaborator, Willem Dafoe. Now, Dafoe will class up just about any movie he appears in, but this seems like an especially perfect part for him. We've seen numerous great iterations of Scrooge over the decades, but Dafoe would absolutely bring a unique energy to the role, in conjunction with Eggers' inevitably dark, singular vision of the story. It doesn't take a ton of imagination to picture Dafoe playing Scrooge and absolutely knocking it out of the park. We know the man can do intense with the best of them, and why expect any different here? Hell, could this be the part that finally wins Dafoe the Oscar that's inexplicably eluded him his entire career? What a story that would be. Number 9. Mark Hamill, The Long Walk. Stephen King's dystopian horror novel The Long Walk is tricky material to adapt to the big screen, given that it's centered entirely around characters walking. But just as challenging is finding an actor with the gravitas to play the story's primary villain, the Major. The Major is the leader of the secret police force that runs the titular annual walking contest. And in the novel, he's presented as a mysterious, almost spectral figure, constantly observing on the fringes, ready to order his forces to murder any of the 100 competing boys if they find themselves unable to keep walking. Ultimately, Mark Hamill was cast in the role for the upcoming adaptation, and while we know that Hamill can voice a classic baddie with the best of them, per his all-timer work as the Joker in Batman the Animated Series, here we see just how imposing his mere physical presence can be too, especially with his characteristic eyes hidden behind reflective sunglasses. Much as Hamill is so intimately associated with one of cinema's all-time great screen heroes, it'll be great to see him subverting that entirely and making us hate him here. Number 8. Mia Goth, Star Wars Starfighter. It was recently confirmed that Scream Queen Mia Goth will be playing a major villain role in the upcoming Star Wars Starfighter, a standalone film in the franchise set roughly 5 years after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. Goth will play an antagonist chasing down Ryan Gosling's hero and the young charge that Gosling's character is tasked with protecting. Though virtually nothing else is known about this villainous character yet, it's telling that the role was previously offered to Anora breakout Mackey Madison prior to Goth, another actress who rose to fame in the horror genre, namely her memorable villain role in 2022's Scream. But Goth's recent work in films such as Ty West's X Trilogy and Infinity Pool have proven just how bracingly brilliant she can be as a fearsome villain. And to see her bring her unhinged on-screen tendencies to the world of Star Wars is incredibly exciting indeed. Madison would have been a great get in her own right, but honestly, Goth might have been an even better choice. Number 7. Dwayne Johnson, Breakthrough. Let it not be said that Dwayne Johnson isn't trying to do something different these days. After all, the wrestler-turned-actor will next transform himself to play MMA fighter Mark Kerr in Benny Sadfi's The Smashing Machine, is planning to star opposite Leonardo DiCaprio and Emily Blunt in a new crime thriller from Martin Scorsese, and will also appear in a new psychological thriller called Breakthrough. Breakthrough follows a young man who comes under the influence of a charismatic motivational guru, a guru who naturally harbors some considerable inner darkness. Johnson will be playing said guru, and honestly, it sounds like a perfect fit for who Johnson is as a person and a performer. Johnson catches so much flack for the questionable sincerity of his relentlessly positive social media presence that this seems to be a self-aware parody of it. To see Johnson riffing on his own carefully crafted persona will be a real trip, especially if the script takes him down a darker path than he's ever travelled before. Number 6. Adam Driver, Heat 2. The much-anticipated prequel/sequel to Michael Mann's masterful 1995 crime thriller Heat began life as a novel released in 2022, which was warmly received upon its publication. Shortly after the novel's release, it was reported that Adam Driver was being eyed to play a young Neil McCauley, the character portrayed by Robert De Niro in the original film. Even ignoring the fact that Driver and Mann worked well together on 2023's Ferrari, Driver is a great choice to play a younger De Niro. He certainly bears enough of a basic physical similarity to pass the sniff test, and also brings enough gravitas to the table to be able to fill the legendary actor's sizable shoes. Though Driver's surging career momentum has stalled somewhat over the last 5 or so years, this could very well be the sort of juicy, high-profile blockbuster role that brings him back to mainstream prominence, especially considering how well-received Mann's Heat 2 novel turned out to be. Now, it is worth noting that Driver's casting as McCauley hasn't been officially confirmed as of yet, but Mann is rumoured to be starting the casting process of Heat 2 imminently, having last provided an update on the progress of the script to Collider in March this year. Number 5. Emma Mackey, Narnia. Though there's been considerable hand-wringing over the decision to cast Meryl Streep as the voice of Aslan the Great Lion in Greta Gerwig's new Narnia movie, the movie's other public casting announcement to date has gone down considerably better with fans. And that's bringing Sex Education's Emma Mackey on board to play the antagonist of the franchise, Jadis the White Witch. Jadis was previously portrayed by Tilda Swinton in the earlier Narnia movies, but given that Gerwig's first Narnia film will reportedly be adapted from prequel novel The Magician's Nephew, it absolutely tracks that Gerwig has sought out a younger actress for the part. Mackey certainly has the striking look and acting prowess to nail the role of the White Witch, and it absolutely seems like a casting upgrade from Charlie XCX, who was originally rumoured to be playing the part. No matter the other potentially divisive aspects of Gerwig's Narnia, Mackey's casting here seems absolutely pitch perfect. Number 4. Glenn Powell, Backdraft reboot. It was recently revealed that Glenn Powell will star in Ron Howard's new firefighting thriller, and while its title hasn't been officially confirmed yet, it seems highly likely that the film will actually be a reboot of Howard's own 1991 thriller Backdraft, or perhaps even an outright legacy sequel. While we know virtually nothing about the movie, audiences clearly won't have to think too hard to imagine Powell playing a badass firefighter. It's incredibly easy to picture him wearing the gear, battling insane fires, and sweating a lot. Frankly, who else in Hollywood fits the bill quite so well right now? Powell's dashing looks and solid physicality make him a casting home run in this role, no matter whether he's an entirely original character or related to the first film's protagonist Stephen McCaffrey. Granted, making him McCaffrey's son Sean would mean quietly ignoring 2019's direct-to-VOD sequel Backdraft 2, which stars Joe Anderson as an adult Sean, but aren't we all basically doing that anyway? Number 3. Michael Fassbender, Kung Fury 2. Kung Fury 2, a sequel to 2015's much-loved viral short Kung Fury, was filmed all the way back in 2019, with a shockingly stacked cast that included, among others, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Fassbender. The sequel has been stuck in release purgatory for years due to a legal dispute, but back in May, an 11-minute sizzle reel from the film was leaked online by unknown parties, revealing that Fassbender will be playing Colt Magnum, the new partner of Detective Kung Fury. Fassbender rocks a flowing mullet and lights a cigar with his Magnum, while the sizzle reel introduces him as the best goddamn FBI agent in the world. We see him repeatedly kick down doors, operate a typewriter by firing bullets at it, and talk about making a justice omelette. It looks like more fun than Fassbender has ever had with a role before, and honestly, if you want to preserve some of Kung Fury 2's surprises for its eventual release, probably don't watch the full spoiler-filled sizzle reel. Fassbender clearly goes places with this part though. Number 2. Elle Fanning, The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. The casting department for upcoming Hunger Games prequel Sunrise on the Reaping has honestly been cooking with gas for the entire process. But the most inspired casting decision so far? Elle Fanning as a young Effie Trinket. Effie is a chaperone who was portrayed quite brilliantly by Elizabeth Banks in the original Hunger Games movies. And in this prequel, she'll appear in her younger days as an emergency escort and stylist for the tributes of District 12. Fanning isn't just a terrific actress. She bears a natural resemblance to Sue Banks, and it's easy to see how her entire demeanour as an actor will allow her to slot quite effortlessly into Effie. Plus, per her work on the Neon Demon, we know that she can pull off some wild outfits. Fanning has been a popular fan cast for the role ever since the novel itself released back in March, and while indulging fan campaigns is often a dangerous path, in this case it was absolutely the right choice. Number 1. Coleman Domingo, the Running Man. The cast for Edgar Wright's new adaptation of The Running Man is absolutely stacked, but surely the single most inspired casting choice among the ensemble is hiring Coleman Domingo to play Bobby Thompson, the host of the central dystopian game show. If you've ever seen Domingo act in just about anything, you'll be aware that he's basically charisma personified. And so it's easy to appreciate how he'd absolutely nail the role of a superficially charming, larger-than-life game show host. Plus, we know the guy looks absolutely fantastic in a suit. As such, it was little surprise to see that Domingo was one of the easy highlights of the film's recently dropped first trailer, where he's briefly seen decked out in some lavish duds and hamming it up for the cheap seats. There's no doubt that Domingo is going to make us love to hate Thompson, ensuring maximum satisfaction when he's hopefully taken out by our chisel-jawed hero, Ben Richards.